the youth, and he was able to impact the youth around him globally. But he started locally. He took it one day at a time. One of his famous quotes, of which I'm fond of, is anything that suddenly emerged big calls for concern. Remember, you're a tiny embryo. Today, look at you. Today is ours. As youth, we are called to keep our focus on achieving greatness as the key to put an end to poverty. In our own generation, the pathways to greatness is habitual. It starts with what we do daily. Simply summarized, great men have great habits. Today, our panelists will be shedding more light on how our youth can possess the right habits, the right focus to sustain their positive trajectory in this world of challenges, distractions, and self-pity. A big round of applause for our moderator for today's event in the person of Engineer Woye Olagbaju, a brother who grew through the Synagogue, Sunday school, drama class, Leaders of Tomorrow, and so many other departments in the church for close to 3 decades. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Engineer Woye Olagbaju and his panelists.
Yes, let's applaud him. Let's keep clapping for him.
Thank you, everyone. You are welcome to this maiden edition of our youth convention tagged Synagogue Scoan Youth Convention 2024. We're all aware of the current challenges in Nigeria and all over the world. Youth has become a victim of circumstances. And I will welcome on stage the other panelists who will be shedding more light on the issues that are affecting our youth all over the world, such as, why am I here? What's my purpose on earth? What is my vision? Who can help me? How can I get to the next level? And I believe that at the end of this discussion, you will see yourself clearly. And I pray that God Almighty, through our able prophet, Senior Prophet T.B. Joshua, will touch all of us in Jesus' mighty name. So, join me to welcome on stage Mrs. Ineka Isaac. Mrs. Bimbai Mutsinri. Sorry if I called you wrongly.
Neka Isaac Moses is a highly respected destination promoter, entrepreneur, co-founder, and managing director of Gogay Africa Worldwide Limited, founder, Destination West Africa Project, and vice president, Gogay Africa Foundation. She co-founded the Gogay Africa TV series in 1999, which has grown into a respected culture and
please, as we proceed,
Africa.
Join me in welcoming
40 million viewers globally. Honoring her brand, Gogay Africa, the United Nations World Tourism Organization, with the Excellence in Corporate Contribution to the Development of Tourism Award, recognizing her significant contributions to the industry. She holds multiple qualifications, including Institute of Management Consultants, FIMC, CMC, London Business School, Managing the Company of the Future, and Lagos Business School, Penn Atlantic University, Entrepreneurial Management, Women Entrepreneurship, and Executive Management in Business. Additionally, she obtained a Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Literature from the University of Lagos. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome your guest speaker on the panel, Neka Isaac Moses.
Plus,
and a model in Cape Town, working with various brands. She then grew to become an established TV host and media icon across the continent. She currently owns and runs her own production company, Mambo Media, whilst anchoring Newsday on West Africa's leading news network, Arise News Channel. She has her own column, African Excellence with Vimbai, in Nigeria's most circulated business-focused newspaper, Business Day, that focuses on celebrating Pan-African excellence. She's also the founder and editor-in-chief of the Vimbai.com, an empowerment portal for positive and impactful content targeted at young African women. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome your guest speaker on the panel, Vimbai.
We've been to love and peace. We are ready to change the world. We've been to love and peace. We are ready.
Good morning and win today. Yeah, we're live. I was clapping for myself because you guys don't want to clap loud enough for me, so I'll clap for myself. Thank you so much for having us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning and win today. I'd like to say thank you for this opportunity. I think it's a privilege to be seated here today to share my story and learn from you. Thank you.
Please join me on stage, Auntie Moji Oguntoyinbo.
Mojisola Oguntoyinbo is a distinguished banker with nearly 30 years of experience across various banking segments. For the past 2 decades, she has been with EcoBank, where she currently oversees the Midwest and Southwest Directorate of EcoBank Nigeria, managing 6 regions and 57 branches. Mojisola is renowned for her strategic decision-making, business performance optimization, and operational efficiency enhancement. She holds a degree in agricultural economics from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, an MBA from Ekiti State University, and a master's degree in development finance from the University of Stellenbosch Business School, Cape Town, South Africa. Beyond her professional accomplishments, Mojisola is a dedicated trainer, coach, and mentor for teens and youths. She passionately advocates for digitalization and financial empowerment, especially for women in business. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome your guest speaker on the panel, Mojisola Oguntoyinbo.
We are ready to change the world.
Thank you very much. Let's welcome.
Good morning, win today, win tomorrow, and win forever. It's a privilege to be here in your presence, and I believe today we're going to unlearn, relearn, and learn amongst ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for coming. Please, let's welcome on stage Dr. Oluwaseun Olorun Obafemi. Thank you very much.
Dr. Oluwaseun Olorun Obafemi is a Chief Executive Officer of Zeal Host Consulting Services Limited, where he formulates policies and provides strategic direction to both public, state and federal government and private, financial, oil and gas, health, education and power sector organizations within guidelines set up by their board of directors and decision makers. He graduated with honors from the Department of Electronics and Electrical Engineering at the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University. He is an alumnus of Howard University, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Wharton Business School of the University of Pennsylvania, USA. Dr. Oluwaseun started his career in the banking sector, but over the years, he has evolved into a seasoned management consultant and a revolutionary business leader. He is a result-oriented business leader with over 2 decades of domestic and international experience. experience and with proven success in new market identification, HR consulting, and strategic positioning for multi-million-dollar global payment systems with a track record of growing organizations' bottom line while spearheading operational improvements. In recognition of his contributions in the business, IT, and consulting world, Dr. Oluwaseun has received multiple awards of excellence and has been featured as a guest speaker at industry conferences. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome your guest speaker on the panel, Dr. Oluwaseun Olorunbafemi.
With some love.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming. A round of applause for him. Please join me and welcome on stage Dr. Ayodeji Adidara.
Dr. Ayodeji Ayola Adidara holds a PhD in English language from the University of Lagos, Akoka, Lagos, where he teaches in the Department of English. Earning the doctorate in 2021, Dr. Adidara's thesis is entitled A Corpus-Assisted Eco-Linguistic Analysis of Governor Babatunde Fashola's Speeches on the Environment, 2007 to 2015, and it examines the link between human behavior towards the environment and the structure as well as usage of language. For his first degree, also in English language, he attended the Lagos State University, Ojo, Lagos, finishing in 2007 at the top of his class. He also had his master's degree in English language at the University of Lagos in 2010, where he finished with a distinction, also at the top of his class. Dr. Adidara's research interests are in political linguistics, political communication, and eco-critical discourse analysis, where he is interested in the imbrications of language, ideology, power, and the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome your guest speaker on the panel, Professor Ayodeji Ayola Adidara.
Good morning and win today. I'm extremely grateful for this incredible opportunity to be here, to share ideas with everyone, to learn from everyone else, especially our youths. We deal with the youths at the university, so we know what the youths are like. They are the future of this great country, of this great world. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. You are welcome on this stage. Please put your hands together to welcome on stage Lawyer Ayodeji Olabiwonu.
Mr. Ayodeji Olabiwonu Esquire is the managing partner of the Legal Hub Partnership, a full-service law firm with offices in the heart of Lagos and Abuja. Ayodeji holds over a decade and half demonstrable experience of bespoke service delivery to diverse areas of law. He was called to the Nigerian bar as a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria in the year 2009. He obtained master's degree in law, LLM, from the prestigious University of Lagos. He is a member of various professional bodies, including the International Bar Association, IBA, Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, Employment and Labor Lawyers Association of Nigeria, ELAN. Outside his legal practice, Ayodeji is a social and environment justice advocate and mobilizer. He is an international member of Amnesty International, a testament of his ardent commitment to human rights and social justice. He was recently elected as secretary of the most vibrant and the second largest branch of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ikeja branch. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome your guest speaker on the panel, Ayodeji Olabiwonu Esquire.
Good morning and win today. Scoan youth, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming on stage. Thank you, everyone. Our panelists on my left and my panelists on my right. Thank you very much. You're all looking beautiful. To our youth, the focus of today's discussion is all about you. And I'll be asking our thought leaders to talk more about the challenges that you are facing, that we once faced, so that you can learn from us and take a cue from what they are going to say today. Thank you as you listen. The question is this: why do young people fail? Why do they fail? What are the challenges that are common to them? Why does the youth need a mentor in this generation of ours? What is real success and what is real greatness? These are questions that we need to go through as youth and that we have all gone through. So I'll be starting my question with Nneka and Vimba. Vimba, thank you very much. Now, the question is this: in your personal journey on becoming a successful leader, on becoming who you are today, what were those steps you took that actually, make sure that you didn't get to where you are going? I mean, that were going to hinder your growth and success. What were those steps?
Okay, I'll go ahead. Thank you so much for this question. When I saw this, I found it to be very profound because it's something I've never been asked before, funny enough, because we're so used to asking people why they succeeded or how they succeeded and not how did you not fail. Yes. And I think, first of all, failure, I don't think is a single incident. It's not a single event. Failure is a process, in my opinion, because we all make mistakes. We all encounter challenges. But it's the process of allowing yourself to continue in a cycle of mistakes and not learning that leads us to failing. So I want to start with that. Then very quickly, because I know with our youth, the attention span now, I think, is the length of a TikTok video, which is like 3 minutes. So I'm going to try and speak as quickly as possible. I'll split it into two parts. There's a spiritual side, and then there's a natural side. Let's start with the spiritual side. The spiritual side is about learning to look at your life as a series of patterns. Okay. So I'll start with my Damascus moment, because I think everybody has a Damascus moment. Everybody has that definitive moment where, their soul becomes their Paul. That moment where something life-changing happens to you. There was a gentleman, Emmanuel, who gave his testimony. Uyu also gave his testimony. With Uyu, it was his father's illness. He was fortunate to have his Damascus moment when he was just 9 years old. Mine is when I was 15 years old. I was in boarding school, and a group of friends and I decided to forge our letters out of the boarding house to go home for that weekend. One of our friends had a free house. Her parents had traveled. So we forged a letter from her parents to say that we had been given permission to go out. And we went to her house for the weekend. That was on a Friday. We went clubbing. We went partying. It was, a crazy weekend. Then on the final day when we were supposed to go back to school, we had a car accident. Wow. And in that car accident, the girl who was hosting us, she died on the spot. I was thrown out of the car. We were both thrown out of the car. She died next to me. And the one thing I remember from being on the side of the road, in the middle of the road, is that there's a woman who came to me. I don't know if it was a real woman. I don't know anymore. But this woman came and she said, "You need to say your Hail Mary." I'm not even Catholic, so at that time I didn't know what a Hail Mary was. But I was rushed to hospital, and by God's very special grace, I survived. There were 5 of us in the car. One person died on the spot. The driver of the vehicle, unfortunately, died many years later. He never recovered from the accident. He became a drug addict and succumbed to that later on in life. That moment changed my life because that is when I can say I genuinely met Christ. And when I look at what happened in that moment, it now led me to look at my life as a series of patterns. My brother then had a car accident. My sister had a car accident. This incident, that incident, she said, this is like the same thing happening over and over again. What's going on here? And it just takes the Holy Spirit, without taking too much time, it takes the Holy Spirit to be able to say, this is the pattern of my life. What I love, a lesson from Prophet T.B. Joshua was, he always used to talk about God's university. And it goes to the same topic of patterns. You know, everything has a process and a procedure. And in God's university, it's very difficult to fail. Some people do. It's very difficult to, however, you'll sit the same exam over and over again until you pass. So when you have a challenge, a recurring challenge in your life, a recurring mistake, a recurring failure, it probably means you haven't learned that lesson. And you need to go to the Holy Spirit and find out, how can I address this issue differently so that I don't keep encountering the same challenge? So with regards to how do I avoid failure, when I keep encountering the same challenge over and over again, I look at the pattern of my life and I already know that, okay, this is the prayer point, this is the challenge, this is this. I go back to the drawing board, I re-strategize, and by God's special grace, I write that exam again in the University of God. Yeah, I've rewritten a lot of exams.
That's wonderful.
But that's, yeah.
Madam Nneka, what do you have to say?
Okay, first of all, that was really nice. What I need to say is that success and failure are ongoing process.
Okay.
In my case, I had to make sure that I succeed. Because my background is not bad. But growing up, my dad had died quite early. My mother raised me and my siblings. I need to fast forward to a point where my life was like it's over. And I got a second chance at life.
Glory.
And that second chance, yes, came at the point when I met Isaac.
Oh. A round of applause.
So, and by the time I met him, I was already an orphan. And for some reasons, I had no job particularly. So I call myself like I'm a trader.
Okay.
But he lifted me up from that place where I was and said to me, come, let's do something together.
Brilliant.
And I just trusted him because before I met him, I had had a disappointment that made me cry so badly. The fact that I didn't have parents who would guide me, like things will go wrong with you, you go back to mommy, what do? I didn't have that. So I kind of like decided that, you know what? A lady had read a portion of the Bible to me saying that orphans are God's special ones. And that if I prayed the prayer of an orphan, that I will always get what I wanted. So I decided to believe that God is always on my side and not on yours. I decided to believe that once I ask that my father is in heaven, my mother is in heaven, and God the Father. So that is what usually like spurs me on. When it looks like it's all bad, I keep rising. So when we started our program that most of you or your parents know, called Go Gay Africa, it was started on a shoestring budget.
Whoa.
Yes. He didn't have nothing.
Wow.
I met him when he was squatting in somebody's house.
Wow.
And I was not better anyway.
Either way.
But so we just came together, and when he spoke to me, he said, let's just do something that will make us happy and we will survive.
And
so
you made a lot of people happy.
And we ended up making a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
So he said to me, let's do this, but let's do like a radio show. So I said, no, since I sell clothes. So I said, no, since I sell clothes, let's do a TV program so that People can see my clothes and I get to sell more. So for me, it was just the business angle because I was trying to get out of the below the line.
Yeah.
And to do that, you just have to have faith. Imagine you started a program, just the what is it called, the pilot. We took it to a national television, and the woman that was delegated to review it, reviewed it and said to us that our program is fetish and unfit for broadcast.
Can you imagine?
Now, that would have made us say, oh, okay, if the national television has said this, then that means it's not good. Let's go look for something else to do. But we said, no. Goge Africa is about Africa's heritage and culture. And of course, travels. But let us show this woman that our culture or our heritage is not fetish. Let's go ahead and do this, if only to prove a point. Now, what that says to me is you have to encourage yourself. And because I believe that God is always on our side.
You had to encourage yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, the world will tag you a failure.
The world, nobody even understood what we were doing at the time.
Absolutely.
Today, Goge Africa is older than National Association of Tour Operators in Nigeria. Do you understand? So at the time, nobody even knew what we were doing. A big round of applause
to you for that.
Thank you.
I know my moderators, my panelists have a lot to say, but there is no time because we started very late. So I will plead and I'll beg the people who put this together to probably consider another time. But we'll try as much as possible to keep to time and make sure we round up on time. So my next question is to the people on the right, on my left-hand side. We all face challenges. Doctor, look at me. We all face challenges. The two doctors are here, and I believe that the answer to our problems are here right now. We all face challenges. What are those steps that these youths and the ones watching us right now at home will be able to take from you and say, these challenges, I'm going to turn them to bullets of empowerment, to bullets to further my progress in life? Doctor, do you want to start? Dr. Ayo.
Yeah, thank you very much. If you just permit me to start on a personal note, I'd like to say something about my encounter with the man of God, Prophet T.B. Joshua. On the night of Friday, May 15, 2021, so we had just finished the service at the mountain then. Yeah, so the man of God learned that I was a bit under the weather. And then he said, okay, he was going to come to me right there, and then he prayed for me. Actually, the prayer was basically for what I was feeling then physically. When I got back to the lodgings, I saw that what it was, that was a problem, had actually disappeared. Now, by Monday, the 17th of May, so I had the most important presentation for the PhD, which is what they call the APC presentation. So that's where you go and defend your title. So for years, I started the PhD, so I was having issues with finance. For a long while, I was out of a job, So it says in 2010, I finished the master program. I thought I was going to get a job immediately because I had left the job that was actually paying me well because I wanted to be in academia, okay? So I did well, graduated at the top of the class. I thought I was going to get a job immediately, but I was in a wilderness of unemployment for the next 5 years.
Wow.
Okay? So at a point, a bit of scripture kept coming to me, except the Lord build a house, except the Lord build a house. I was wondering, what's this? But eventually in 2015, I prayed so much, and then I got a job where I wasn't even expecting it. So on that May 17, that stage of the PhD, dissertation thing used to be dreaded. But somehow, it was so easy that I was shedding quiet tears. I was wondering, why should it be this easy for me? So I then realized that prayer was not just for what I was feeling then. I thought I couldn't smell well. It was a COVID period, and then the man of God laid hands on me, and then I felt better immediately. But that Monday, as I sat there, facing the panel, and they were just asking me questions, I was answering, and everybody was on my side. I was shedding quiet tears inside of me. So I'll remain eternally grateful to the man of God, Prophet T.B. Joshua, because he actually returned me, helped me to see that it's not just about academics, it's not just about philosophy, it's about God. There's actually God.
A round of applause.
He said, I told somebody, a colleague, I said, this thing was so easy. He said, but you're good now. I said, you don't know my experience. I was that good, but I was going for jobs, interviews. Nobody was taking me. I had such powerful, credentials. I was being left out. What are you talking about? I said, this is God. So that's my experience, personal experience with him. So now, having said that, I'd like to say that the youth, we deal with them every day at the university. Today's youth actually face this major problem of the materiality, or if you like, materialism. They feel that a successful person has to be that person with all the money, with all the cash to spare.
Yeah.
Right. So it prevents them from actually looking at the spiritual side of things and, the positive spiritual side of things, because there's also another negative spiritual side of things. So it prevents them from looking at that. And then they think that they can actually get rich so quickly. Right? And then technology is actually good, but it's a big hindrance for the youth, because today the youth, are in a quest for virality. By virality, I mean the fact that you want to get on social media, you want to have millions, of likes and all of that. So you're getting your validation from out there. So basically, I would argue that today, the youth are exposed to celebrities whose lives are probably not worth celebrating. Because, a celebrity means you're supposed to be able to celebrate this person. But most of the people high up there with all the millions of followers, because people get a lot of social capital, a lot of power by being powerful on social media. So a lot of people, yes. So I feel that the youth today, they have this problem where they think that they should be looking at people they really shouldn't be looking at. So I feel that models like Prophet T.B. Joshua should actually be the ones who dominate the space, so that the right values, can be imbibed, and then people will have the right kind of vision.
Thank you very much. I mean, you just took the words out of some of all what you said is exactly on point. Virality is the order of the day. 10 million followers is what is, excites a lot of youth. And the number of likes. That takes me back to Antimoji. You see, we have these demographics of youths, 18 to 25, 20 to 25 to 30, 30 to 40. If you were to advise them on each one have a peculiar challenge, how would you go about it? And what are the things you would tell them?
Thank you. All right. So if you look at the demography of youth today, we have the age bracket of 15 to 18. And I would say at that point, that's the point of identification of who you are as a child. Who you are, you want to know exactly who you are. Then you start identifying yourself with peers. You start comparing. And then the identity issue comes in between 15 and 18. That's the teens year. And that's when you start forming and you start being rebellious as a child, because you want to feel like things are not done this way anymore. We are the younger generation. But I think at this point also is a time of molding for parents, because whatever you mold at that age is what that child begins to develop with, except when we start having peer pressure. And I think also when you look at the ages between after 20 to 25 is your year of career development. When you want to, you start, you go to the university, you are out of the university, you choose a career, you start looking forward to starting your life, breaking off from parental stronghold to become a man or a woman. So during this period also, there is this pressure of I want to belong.
Belonging, yeah.
Yes. So I belong to this group. I want to be seen as sociable. I want to be seen as acceptable. So this also brings some challenges with that age group. Then the age of family creation, when you are between 30 and 40, and you start finding your feet, you start building the future for your own generation and lineage, that also come up with its own challenges of, am I going to make it? Am I successful? You start self-appraisal, and you start looking at it that, what are the mistakes I've made? Can I still correct them? Then this start bringing pressure into some people's life if they are not into God. If they can't wait on God's purpose and direction, then they start having some unnecessary pressures, which could also divert them from the things of God. So within this age group, there are different challenges, different solutions also that people spring up to be able to face whatever they are facing at that stage. But in all, I think if our life purpose is built on God's word, and at every stage of our life, we depend on God, and we follow the word of God. We put on the whole armor of God, and we have the strength to do what God says we should do. We will succeed at every stage in life.
I totally believe you. Youth, you have to believe in God. That is your key. Man of God used to say, belief is our connection. Doctor, I'm over to you now. Dr. Shane. Yes, thank you very much. I mean, you have had the two people. You are the man in the middle now. You have heard them. They have said certain things. How can you help us mitigate? Just give us a light out of this darkness. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. I know for sure that the youth that are present here today, a lot of them will be facing some challenges. They are normal challenges. Identity crisis of who you are, what do you want to become, and what of your peer pressure, unemployment, and all of that. But the good news I want to share with you today, the place we are all seated here today is a vision of a youth. Prophet TB Joshua, at the age of 26, 27, had this vision. So he was actually a youth, which means where you are right now, the first thing that you need to have, which is God-given, is your vision. And when you get that vision or that desire, you could be a vision to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a pastor, to be whatever that is. You must be able to focus on it and be deliberate about it. You must be intentional. Set SMART goals. SMART is an acronym for goals that are specific, that is your S, that are measurable, not just goals in the head. You must write them down. You must have metrics to measure them. They are goals that must be achievable and goals that must be relevant. Like today, relevant goals will be around things that are technology-based. So they must be relevant goals. And then also it must be time-bound. It must be something that you set for yourself within 2 months, 3 months, 1 year. Put a time to it, write it down, and focus on that goals. Now, the goals that you set for yourself help you to translate that vision into reality. And one of the things that we must learn if we use Prophet TB Joshua as a model, which I will advise we all do, is the fact that you refuse to be distracted. You see, he had all the pressures, all the what I call the antagonistic media pressure,
exactly,
or even from people that are close to him, but he refused to be distracted.
Yeah.
So when you have those goals, make sure you're focused on them. You're not distracted in any form. you refuse and tell yourself that you're focusing on this and you're going to achieve them. And lastly, prayer. No prophet will tell you, do everything as if it all depends on you. And also do what? Pray as if it all depends on God. You must back up every of your actions with prayer, and God will definitely guide you into fruition. And I will also say something about, career, because when you set up a goals for yourself to achieve, like a career path for yourself, one thing that is very sacrosanct that you must do is to work on those goals. Yeah. Okay, work on those goals. If you say you want to be, let me use an example, I want to be a lawyer. Then you have to go to school. You have to put yourself in a situation that when you come out of that school, you are able to achieve it. One of those things that I would like to talk about is also setting for yourself what they call a mentorship program. Identify mentors. Don't just identify them by lips, but you identify them, you approach them, and then you have a right guidance for yourself. Because in this life, there are two ways for you to make it. It's either you go the God's way, which the Bible says it added no sorrow, or you want to go the world way, which is a way that seems right, but the end might be destruction. Choose the God's way, and it will all be good for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Osho. A round of applause to him. I hope you guys are writing and taking notes, because these are life lessons. You don't get them cheaply. I'm sure if you meet him personally, he will tell you more. Thank you. I want to move over to my left now. I'm coming for you now. Lawyer Ayo. We are told to have faith. And our parents, they've gone through several challenges. We've seen them. We've seen the challenges. But they keep telling us to have faith. How long are we going to have faith as a youth? Am I correct? How long? The government has failed us. The people have failed us. Everybody has failed us. So how can you help us to sustain faith in this crisis that we find ourselves?
Yeah, thank you very much. Like the rest of the panelists have said variously, it's confusion everywhere for the young person. Self-identification, purpose finding. A young man has seen his parents from when he was young going through a particular path.
Cycle.
And it seemed that they have ended up in a state that this young person never wanted to end up in. And there's so much distraction everywhere. He has a friend who is into fraud, and he's making good money. And here he is, he's in church, and the church is saying, hold on, keep it. God is coming. How do I stay true to this faith? And it's a world where less attention is being paid to God and faith and belief. But what I would say to the young people is, particularly the Christian youth, is that you're different.
Thank you very much.
You're different. You're not just any youth out there.
Say to your neighbor, I'm different.
You're different. And role modeling, somebody was talking about mentor. Role modeling is also very important. As a Scoan youth, you have the privilege of having Prophet T.B. Joshua as a role model.
Absolutely. Hallelujah.
So there is no bus stop on that path that you cannot find an example in the life of Prophet T.B. Joshua. He stood the course. He was different. The attack was much, but the goal, the purpose was not broken. And you have to see yourself in that space. The world around you is filled with, you have distractions everywhere. But know that you are different. Now, the problem is when you want to conform with the world, that is where your confusion will continue to grow. So as a Christian youth, understand that you're different. hold on to God. It seems difficult to do. But if you identify your purpose, that this is why I'm here on this earth, and you follow through with role modeling. First and foremost, Jesus Christ is the most important role model. Prophet T.B. Joshua, if you're a Scoan youth, of course, should be your role model. Follow through the teachings, the life and times of your role models. Identify your purpose, have your goals, and then it's also important for me to say that you have to be disciplined. Discipline is one thing that is very missing. It's missing, literally. You have to have discipline. If you understand your purpose, you understand your goals, you know why you are here, set parameters. Like I said, you have to set time for those goals. For instance, you want to be, if somebody was asking how to be a software engineer, what are the things, what are the what is the roadmap towards reaching that goal? You have to understand that how do I say it now? You have to understand that discipline is very important. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it's difficult at this moment. There's so much distraction, social media, your friends, but maintain that focus, understand, and then be prepared at all times. Opportunities will only come to those who are prepared. Be prepared. Knowledge is key. Whatever you want to do, knowledge is key. Be prepared. So when you get that chance, when you see that opportunity, it clicks. I met Prophet T.B. Joshua in 2013. Before then, I've tried severally since 2010, 2007. I attended LASU for my first degree. I'm from Ondo State, so we came as a group of Ondo State students wanting to see him. We couldn't, so for like 3 years I was trying, I couldn't meet him. But by a stroke of luck, after I had been called to the bar, somebody wrote a letter, and then my name was there. And then we met him at his office there. But because I was prepared, I didn't know I was going to meet him the day I met him. But by the time I met him, if I had met him before that time, I wasn't prepared yet. I didn't have all I needed to meet the prophet. Because of course, like all of us, she also believed that God has a pathway for everybody. So whatever happens to you, like the prophet has said, it is a step towards your the goal that God has set for you. So I met Prophet T.B. Joshua. At that time, I was prepared. I had what the prophet could build on. And he piqued an interest in me. And from that point, that is the greatest encounter I ever had in my life, in my career. Meeting Prophet T.B. Joshua was the greatest encounter in my life.
A round of applause to that. A round of applause.
From that point, it has been from one step to the other. If I met him and I was a non-entity, I'm sure I won't be here. If I met him and I didn't have something that he could build, that he could speak to, that he could grow with me, I won't be here. So as a young person, don't be distracted by the things that you see around you. You are different. You are a Christian youth. You are not just a youth out there. So you have everything around you to succeed. Keep the focus. Identify your purpose in life. Don't roam around. And then, like Auntie Moji said, identifying the purpose of a young person in this convoluted world is the most difficult thing. But because you are a Christian youth, you are a Scoan youth, hold on to Jesus, anchor all of your goals on Christ, and then you have a headway. Thank you very much.
I think for me, the key word there is anchor everything on God. Anchor everything on God. As a synagogue youth, the ball is in your court. If you want to succeed, don't go helter-skelter. Run to Jesus. If you run out of rope, you know what to do. Bimba, how can you, in this faith matter, encourage somebody that is out of faith completely? Is it by throwing money at him because you're a brand ambassador? You've got a lot of money, I know. Is it by throwing money at him or by encouraging him and giving him the word?
Okay, well, the first thing I want to do is I want to be realistic. And by being realistic, I want everybody to know that it's hard. It's hard. If you watch the news, you know that right now, even Aliko Dangote is complaining. It's hard, even if you're the richest man in Africa. So there's no level of success you're going to get to and it's going to be easy peasy and you're going to be relaxing and it's hard. So as much as I want to encourage everybody, because it's worth it, however, you should know that it's not always easy and there's no moment, even when you're living in your testimony, in your answered prayer, it's still a process. It's not always easy. So that's the first thing I want to say. Then I want to echo what my brother, lawyer Deji said, which is that being in the marketplace with a difference will always set you apart. It will take time, but it will always bear fruit. I remember when I was accepted into Big Brother Africa, I quickly ran here to the Synagogue Church of All Nations and I was scared because I thought Prophet TB Joshua was going to say, no way, you can't go into Big Brother. So I was very shy. I said, Daddy, they've accepted me in Big Brother. And he said, go there and do it with a difference. Those were his exact words.
Please, can we give her a round of applause?
And like I said, it was hard because everybody's going this way and you know there's no way you can't.
There's no way in that way they are going.
Go in that direction. You're all in the house together, right? And people, one is running mad there, one is doing this, everybody's trying to get attention, right? And imagine you're sitting there and you're just like, I'm a Christian girl and I'm going to behave myself. It's tough, but it pays off because once I got out of there, the reward was waiting for me. As much as I was a little bit discouraged, I felt like maybe if I was a little bit more, maybe if I was badly behaved, maybe I would have won and so forth. I didn't win. But as soon as I came out, there were job offers waiting for me. I immediately started working for Africa Magic. It was incredible because even where the studio I was supposed to work at, I didn't even have a house in Johannesburg. But the studio that we were supposed to be filming at was next to my friend's house. So I didn't need accommodation until I got my salary. Until an opportunity came where they relocated me, MultiChoice relocated me to Nigeria from South Africa. And I remember even at that point, Prophet TB Joshua said, oh, you've come home. And I just started laughing. I said, I don't know if this is home. But the reason why I say that is because it was hard, but the steps were ordered. The steps were ordered. And I think to myself, I'm not being, you guys know what shady means. I'm not being shady. Like, I'm not throwing shade at anyone, right? But sometimes I forget the name of the person who won my set of Big Brother, whereas I'm still live on air every day on the biggest news station in Africa.
Because you went in with a difference.
Because I went in with a difference and I refused to be coward. I refused to be bullied. I refused to compete with people whose values I don't know. I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know what you believe in, but I know where I'm coming from. I know what I believe in, and I'm just going to stick with it, and I'm going to trust and have faith. You can't get tired of having faith because, like I said, even when your prayer has been answered, it's still hard.
Thank you very much. Please, a big round of applause to her. This generation, they like things to be sugar-coated. They want to tell you there's Fanta in the there's Coke, there's juice, apple juice, but it's not true. Madam Ineka, right? We have leadership crisis in the world. We can see the challenges and the evolution of people, trying to take power and all of that. What is real greatness? Real greatness. And what is real success as a Christian leader?
For me, first of all, success is, you cannot say you're successful when you don't have successors. Let me start it that way. And for you...
That's very deep. That's very deep.
And for you to say you're successful, you must have groomed some people.
Some people.
Who you must have shown the right path. Because there's several ways to groom people out there. There are those who are in the drug business and they are grooming people. But we know what the end will be.
Exactly.
So, if you get groomed by people like Senior Prophet TB Joshua, you know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
And there's one old currency that I think people should hold on to. That old currency is called integrity. And we have shortage of it in this world right now. A lot of people do not have integrity.
Okay.
You can't hold them for their word. You can't trust them because there are lots of ingredients in that basket of integrity. Having said that, I just want to speak to the youth directly. Everything online, most of it, 90% of it, especially coming from the so-called influencers, are fake. You're easily deceived.
I think we need to put that statement on a plaque. Am I correct?
Because people get ready. Nobody goes on the internet before being ready. Even those people that come out, okay, today I don't have makeup, and they are crying and they are saying this, they are trying to change the narrative. So you need to be awake to what you want to see because there's so much to be seen. It's your choice to decide to watch a horror movie, a Christian movie, a feel-good movie. The power is in your hands. You cannot say that, oh, she led me to it. Because the peer pressures are there to make you stronger. If you are a Christian child, a Christian human, you would always pray for God's guidance. You ask for his will be done in your life. Sometimes we ask for things that we think we need, but we really don't need them. So in your prayers for success, you need to also bring God's will into the matter. And believe me, look for real physical mentors, not online. People you can hold physically, people that you can hold accountable, people that will feel bad that they misled you. So don't go too far to look for a mentor. Look for somebody you can see.
A round of applause to that. Thank you, Emeka. You have spoken so well. For me, Jesus, my Lord and Savior, is the greatest. He said the greatest is he who serves. And I believe so much that if you are a servant leader, you are already exhibiting that tendencies of greatness. Whether you clean the church, whether you mop the floor, whether you clean every other part of the premises, and all those things that you do that you think is small, you're a servant leader. A big thumbs to you. Clap for yourself. To my left again, I'm back here. We don't have much time, Doctor. In 1 minute, give me your definition of what leadership is all about.
Okay. Thank you very much, moderator. Leaders are people that will lead to serve or serve to lead, just like Jesus has taught us. Leaders are people, good leaders are people that will lead by example. Good leaders are people that will build successors, that can also lead. In fact, the hallmark of success of a leader is to check who takes over from him, if he's able to build another leader. But I will just take this few minutes to quickly bring a paradigm shift to all the youths that are here today. Most of us see wealth, money as the only way to lead. Yes, you need that, but please let your paradigm shift to the fact that you can produce wealth from inside of you by focusing on your goals for life. That is one. Secondly, another paradigm shift I want us to have is that if I ask all the youths that are here, maybe 80% will see that the only way they can make money is online and all of that. Please, there is what is called elitist wealth. And if you notice, most of the people that are really, really rich are actually elite. Yes, you have celebrities that are wealthy, But when you look at your Forbes list, 90% of the people you will see there are your innovators, people that are leaders of industry, people that are elites. Those are the people you actually find there. So you can also be an elite and be poor, but most of the elites that are businessmen that had a value to add to the society, you end up being rich. So I want that perspective, if possible, to change, that you can actually build wealth from inside by focusing on things, even though you won't hear it on social media. Most of the wealthiest people, you hardly even hear about them on the social media. That's one thing you must know. And the people that you see more on social media, like Madam Neka just said now, I got it right? Most of those lives are fake life. So please, if you're called to live as a celebrity, fine. Make sure there's a vision that you want to live. Not just because somebody here, what you have seen on social media is what is driving you. If it's your calling to be a musician, to be an influencer, fine. But please know that it is not focusing on education, focusing on being a business leader, focusing on being an elite does not mean you're going to be poor. Are you getting it? Yeah. There is a value that you bring upon yourself, on the society, and upon your, let me say, your pocket, if you are focused to add value to the society. So focus and ask for God guidance on your calling in life. If it's to be an elite, if it's to be a businessman, something tangible that you're doing, something tangible value that you're adding to the society, not just all the flamboyant lifestyle that you see on social media. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that valid point. You were just on point. Ansimoji, are you ready for me?
Always ready.
Thank you. What is the best legacy? You know, the purpose and the objective of this convention is legacy of purpose. And I don't think we have stressed it so much, because all what we have been saying is a build-up to that definition of legacy. We have talked about how we emerge, the challenges, just like what our Father in the Lord experienced, you know, in his calling as a leader. He was torn across all over the world. What legacy do you think our generation, we should focus on to leave behind for our children?
Thank you very much. Looking at legacies, we're talking about things that will outlive us. And as leaders,
Yes, sir.
as leaders, we need to begin to look at the value addition into other people's life, not just ourselves. You know, shortly now we talked about real success and being successful. You know, the difference between real success is and being successful is, as an individual, you could have achieved all your goals in life without any impact on any other human being. You are successful. But you are not successful in reality until you impact others, until you are able to replicate your success in other people. Then you are, in reality, a success. So those are the two differentiation between real and being successful. Real success. So in leadership, when we look at legacy and leadership, as a leader, we've talked about servant leadership. So servant leadership is you lead by example, you impact others, you show them the way, and such that you can always be remembered for the value you have added to their lives. Today, we are remembering Prophet T.B. Joshua. We are remembering his legacies. We are nurturing those legacies. We don't want them to end. And so also is our own life as individual for our generation, even yet unborn. So we need to begin to think deeply about how successful we are today, how we want to replicate that success in the generation yet unborn. Like what we are doing today is part of impacting the younger generation. So today we are saying we want our youth to learn, to deviate from what the world is doing and be living a life as Christians. So legacy is intentional. You have to be intentional with it. You have to live a life of purpose. You have to define that purpose. And you must have a vision. It is your mission in achieving the vision that determines how far you can go. So you must be visionary, then create your mission statement of how you want to achieve that vision. Then you begin to, when he talked about SMART goals, very interesting. But one other thing I would like to add to that is, in designing your SMART goals, you also must begin to do your self-appraisal at every stage of your life. Because there are times when you put your goals and you put how to achieve them, there are some distortions that could happen along the line. So you will do a self-appraisal, you review those goals, and you adjust so that you can meet it. And when life challenges come, there will always be challenges. In life, we will face challenges. There is nobody that is successful in life
Man of God
that
said
has
one
not
day,
faced.
we are born into trouble.
And also, he told us that gold cannot become gold except
Until
it
it's
passed through fire. So all of us here today have stories to tell.
Absolutely.
And we're still going to continue to have stories to tell. I have not achieved my own life goal. I'm still on a journey. And I believe all the youths here, we're all on a journey. We all continue to learn from each other. So as for legacies, we should learn to be intentional, to design what we want to leave behind, and work towards what we want to leave behind to benefit our generation.
Thank you very much. If I were you, I will put down some of these very important things. It's a life lesson for you. Now, because of time and the challenges of, we all know where you are coming from, the condition of the country, to our viewers, we want to thank you for joining us all through this process. Dr. Ayo, summarize. What can you tell our viewers in 30 seconds?
All right, I'll make it very brief.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so what I'll be saying will be distillations from the life of Prophet TB Joshua as I encountered him. In other words, lessons from his life. So first, as you try to be a successful person, learn empathy. Prophet TB Joshua was extremely empathetic, so he was always out there to solve the problems of others. So learn that. Do not try to get ahead of others by stealing from them. You can't be happy by taking from others and then think that you're living the good life. That's not the way to go. Then always be prepared so that when the opportunity comes, you can take it. Okay? When I see that clip again where the man of God was saying, today we start the Synagogue Church of All Nations here. I'm just wondering, look at the bareness of that environment. It was almost like a wilderness.
Yeah.
But a person could have that vision that eventually he could see it, but maybe other people around him didn't see it. So I think that we have a lot to learn from that kind of person. Absolutely. So, yes, this is the age of technology. A lot of people, I have a lot of project students now who are trying to cheat. They're submitting project chapters to me. They've been using artificial intelligence. And I'm saying, I know that you cannot write like this because of course, I read your writings. This is too smooth for you. Still, they're lying to me, insisting that they're using this, they're writing by themselves. There is no point lying. As a student, for instance, don't stick with only what has been recommended. Go beyond, go beyond. Prophet TB Joshua was an extremely disciplined human being. And you can see the results. It was always saying something about, the preparation that you see. What you see, the results that you see, actually are the result of serious preparation that most people don't see. Do you understand that? So the youth need to understand that there is no quick way to success. You've got to keep trying and working hard and remain honest. Thank you very much.
No quick way to success. Can you tell your neighbor? No quick way to success. Dr. Scoan, 1 minute, please. Very brief.
Thank you, moderator. I think in summary, what we've learned here is that when you're leaving this place, be determined to do 3 things. 1, write down your goals. Prayerfully write down your goals. 2, ensure that you can identify a mentor. You know, a role model might be somebody far that you are looking up to be a role model, but a mentor should walk with you on that journey, identify one, and it must be someone that can align with your vision, you know, or the goal that you have in your life. And then the third thing, pray as if it all depends on God. Thank you
very much. Thank you. Atimoji, your summary.
So, my parting words with you, our youth. Technology is advancing every day. Use it to your best advantage and not for the negative vibes. Secondly, I would like you also to know that life is a journey. There is no shortcut. You have to travel it and travel it with the word of God. Lastly, I want you to also note that there will be peer pressure, but you must be very confident and know that you are different. Separate yourself from the crowd and show them that you are a child of God, always. Be bold, be confident. You will make it in life in Jesus'
Thank
name.
you very much. Madam Nneka. I'm sorry.
Okay, I just want to remind us that as much as it is nice to be important, it is important to be nice. And I'm speaking to your attitude as young people. Do not, you see, no matter how talented you are, your attitude may hinder you from getting to where you want to get to. You don't know the day you're meeting your destiny changer. Every single person you meet in life, even if he's a gate man, is important. Even the usher out there. Okay? Then, also, learn to add value even to that mentor you're coming to. Don't develop an entitlement mentality that some of us have with our parents. Mommy should have done it. You should have done this. Believing that everything should be done for you. Learn how to deliver some service, no matter how small, so that you don't become a nuisance to anybody you come across, even your friend. So that would be my parting word. And I'm telling you that as a synagogue youth, I know you will be successful. Just hold on to Christ.
Thank you very much.
Right. Well, very quickly, I'll paraphrase what the man of God used to say, which is that there's no point gaining it all if you're going to lose it.
Wow.
If you're going to gain, if you're going to win, if you're going to be successful, let it be in a sustainable way. Let it be something you can maintain. Let it be something that will go on and leave a lasting legacy. And that all comes down to process. So if you cut corners, you take shortcuts, you cheat, you lie, deceive, do the wrong things, you're going to lose it one day in some form or another. So if you toil, if you do it the right way, the honest way, with integrity, you work hard, be honest, pray about it, follow God's direction in your life, it will take longer, but you're destined to get something that no man can destroy or ever take away from you.
Thank you very much. There's no point in getting it all when you are going to lose it. Thank you very much for that point. That's a valid one. The law.
All right, thank you. I would say that to achieve the extraordinary, you have to do beyond the ordinary. So you cannot, if you want to live a life that outlives you, live a life of purpose, you have to go beyond the ordinary. For you that want to be successful, you have to pray more than the next person. You have to sleep less than the next person. You have to eat less, believe it or not, than the next person. Do every other thing that is more than the ordinary, than the other person. And with God on your side, with Jesus as your anchor, and with the fact, like they said, that you are a member of this commission, success is very sure. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, our panelists, for this wonderful session. Thank you, doctors. Thank you, Atimoji, Dr. Ayo, Dr. Sheo, Madam Nneka, Vimbai. I hope I got it. Right, yes. Thank you very much. And the Lord, thank you very much. To our youth, till next time, next year. Thank you very much. Okay, there is question and answers. You guys have questions? So, okay, they organize it.
I'm currently trying to chase.
Can you speak up a bit?
I am currently trying to chase a doctorate, and I wanted to know, as someone who's been through this journey and seen the hardship with it, what advice would you give to a person like myself or anyone around trying to do the same thing?
Okay. All right. So if you want a PhD, I think it's less about your level of intelligence than about your ability to persevere. In fact, in academia, they tend to describe that H in PhD. You know, when you write it properly, the P is capital, the capital P, the H is a small h. All right, the D is a capital D. So here we say that H stands for humility. You understand? So there is a lot about the PhD that goes beyond your brilliance. There are many people who are so brilliant but are not able to finish a PhD because of character issues, because of lack of discipline, you know, and so on and so forth. But first of all, if you want to go for a PhD, you have to be sure that you're really interested in academia. So growing up personally, I inherited a lot of books. It was a box full of books from my father, you know, who was a policeman that actually trained himself. He went on correspondence courses, so he was buying books. I mean, all of the Achebe novels, the rest of them, Animal Farm. I just took down that box, you know, and then I started to read from there. I became interested. So you have to be sure that you really want the PhD for the right reason, not because you want to show off. You see? So while I was working in 2010 in Apapa, so we used to supply earth-moving equipment, you know, to quarries, Dangote's factories there. I was working with some Australian Britons, you know, who didn't want me to go when I wanted to go initially. You know, I was tired of the place. In fact, a customer came and said, this guy he's not supposed to be here. He's supposed to be in academics, you know. As at that time, I was already making the plan. In fact, the first admission I got was for the University of Ibadan. There was so much pressure from my people because I just done 2 years of work and I wanted to leave the job and go back, you know, to school. So I left that. But the next time I had to just do it and then go to Unilag, so I left the job. So you have to be sure that you're the type that likes to read. You're just interested in books for the sake of books. You see? Yeah, you have to be interested in knowledge. And of course, because today, education is supposed to be useful to society. So you need to identify a topic, you know, that will make sense. You see, I'm in English studies, you know, but when I was thinking about the topic, it took a while for me to realize that, okay, I needed to do something relating to the environment. So I went into the field called eco-linguistics. So you're looking at the relationship between language and the environment. And of course, one of the, I think the 13th goal of the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, you know, has to do with climate change. And now language plays a big role in that. So whatever your own field is, you've got to be sure that you have a topic that makes sense. Do you understand? At the end of the day, yes. So that topic, you know, that area will not only help you to contribute to society, it will also help you to, you know, get the grants out there, become relevant, and actually start contributing to, you know, solving societal issues. So be sure that you really want a PhD for the sake of advancing knowledge, not because you want to show off to the next man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Ilochi Uzochukwu. My question goes to Mr. Sheu. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Ilochi Uzochukwu. My question goes to Mr. Sheu. As a successful CEO, how do you advise us, the youth that are going through strat SME?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you come again? What do you mean by SLE?
small, medium enterprises.
Okay. SME.
Okay, SME. All right. Dr. Sean, please help us put the jigsaw together.
All right. If you're an SME person that you're starting a small business, the first thing is you must be able to define the scope of that business. Because if you're going to meet someone that will help you to invest in it, they need clarity as to what exactly you are doing. And also, you must be knowledgeable enough in that business area to be able to show the viability of what you want to do. Now, viability simply means that if you invest X amount in a business, how viable is it for that business to at least break even and then make profit? So if you meet someone like me and I'm going to talk to you about it, the first thing is to discount whatever you are thinking as your profit. I will first of all discount it by 30% and still see if that business can survive. So you have to be very knowledgeable and be able to show viability of your business. And then number two, that's from getting investors to help you, because the major challenge any SME have is about the money.
Funding.
Is about funding, right? Now, if you get the right funding, you must also be focused because you will now face the challenge. I remember when I started my business, there are a lot of challenges that came along the way. Is normal for startups. But when you are focused and you stay on it, based on the roadmap you set for yourself, ab initio, be rest assured that it's going to be a success. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you much, sir. Mr. Shegu. Sorry. Mr. Sheu.
Mr. Sheu. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Sheu.
Thank you. Are we still expecting more questions?
Good morning, our honorable panel. My name is Taiwo, and I'll be directing my question to Mrs. Neka. I've known you to be famous, and despite being raised by a single parent, how were you able to navigate through a good marriage and fame?
Thank you for that question. I don't know if my marriage is a good marriage, but I know it's a happy one. Okay, but what it is mutual respect is very important in any relationship. You have to learn how to respect your partner. You also have to be selfless. The only way your friend likes you is because they know you do things for them. And so I took that principle into my marriage. I show him the love, I show him the respect. I make him understand that after my God, he comes next. And I don't beat about the bush about it. And he, on his own part, he once gave an interview and said that she treats me like his king. So she is my queen. So relationship, and we fight a lot because we're always on set together. Okay? He will tell me, do it this way. I know that when we're on set, he's the boss because he's directing. And also, one thing with Nigerian men, if you have one, is they like their ego to be massaged. Yeah. They want to know that they are on top at all times.
I think we are going in another direction
there is
now.
So many things that I can share with you, but we have a shortage of time.
Yeah.
But believe me, mutual respect in any relationship really goes a long way.
Thank you very much.
But don't forget God in your matter. Thank
Amen.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for this giving opportunity. My question goes to Lawyer Ayodeji. So, I'm a law student and I have issues and confusion about this profession. Most of the time, I just kept on thinking, how's the future going to be? I haven't seen other lawyers and I'm like, oh, this course is really, really prestige. But I want to know how you achieve this great thing as being a lawyer, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I would tell you that one of the best decisions I took in my life was to study law. Right? So you're on a good path. I studied mass communication. I was going to be Mbai's colleague. I did mass communication at OND level, so I had the opportunity to intern at NTA, Tejo. So I fell in love with broadcasting. And when law came, I didn't want to do law any longer. So I went to LASU, I met Dr. Fakoya. You should know Dr. Fakoya. And I said I wanted to change my course to English because I'd fallen in love with mass communication. And he thought I was mad, so he chased me out of his office. So I was forced to go back to law, Faculty of Law, and I registered. And looking back, I can tell you for free, and apologies to fellow panelists, that is the best course you can ever study.
Of course, you say it's the best course.
So, but for a law student, I tell you, discipline is key. And that's why I keep repeating discipline. You can't study law, you can't excel in the practice of law without discipline. Then, I think it was Ms. Ineka who said integrity is in scarce supply, is in short supply. As a lawyer, if you want to be successful, your integrity is key, all right? A lot of things will happen. A lot of things will distract you, will attempt to distract you, but with your integrity intact, with hard work, with perseverance, just keep at it, be disciplined. I assure you, you will make it in the practice of law. You see a lot of people, they call some people charge and bail lawyers. There are no charge and bail lawyers, but there are people who cannot stay the course, and you see them around trying to look for the short cut to it. That shouldn't be your own goal. Know that you're on the best path. What class are you now? Are you in law school or you're on undergrad? You're still in law school?
I think undergraduate.
Okay, undergraduate. All right, so just keep at it. You know that as a law student, you have to read more than your friends who are studying English. No apologies, but that's why I say you have to do extra. Do you understand? For you to achieve the extraordinary, you have to do extra. Now, it doesn't mean that the other courses or the other professions are, I was just joking when I said that, but as a law student, that's what you chose. That's your purpose. You have to do the work. You have to be ready to do the work. Be disciplined. When it's time to read, you read. And then the sky will be your limit. And then, most importantly, the God factor. It is still trendy to serve God. It is still trendy to follow God. Don't be part of those people outside who will feel it is outdated to put God first. God should be the first. He has always been the first. He should always be the first. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's give our panelists a big round of applause. If you are touched, inspired by their speeches, please give them a big round of applause. So, we come to the end of this session, and we pray that next time, more time will be given to us, to the convener. Thank you very much.
Please, on our feet, let's keep clapping for them. Such wonderful session of stories, lessons, and experience. Let's keep clapping for them, please.
Hopefully for just camera and say, yeah, just turning like this.
Let's keep clapping, let's keep clapping. We need the energy. Please, let's keep clapping for them. Wow, such beautiful gifts given to the panelists. Thank you very much, dear distinguished panelists. We really appreciate you for taking time out to share your stories and experience through life. Thank you. Please let's keep